This week, Lime Champion spoke to Franz. He is 47 years old and works as an antique furniture upholsterer in the Melbourne suburb of Moorabbin. Franz is not his real name. He only agreed to speak to us if he remain anonymous. To ensure this, we have disguised his voice, and even though this is radio, we have respected his wish that he have his face disguised as well. To do this, we encased his head in the carcass of a seal recently washed ashore on the Victorian surf coast. We warn that the following report contains concepts that some listeners may find arousing, as Franz reveals to us the unsettling truth about his forbidden passions.
The frustrating thing for those of us into domination is all the misconceptions that most people have of us. Everyone thinks it's just, whips and chains and getting spanked and that sort of thing. But that's only one small part of it, and that's the bit that gets all the attention. But there are so many other forms of domination. For me, I've always been a sports lover, especially football. I love my footy, and for as long as I can remember, I was always quite intrigued whenever I heard football commentators talk about a player dominating in the ruck. The thought of being a ruckman who was so comprehensively outplayed and dominated by his opponent was quite exciting to me. I go to an S&M establishment that caters to this sort of domination. What normally happens is that I'll get dressed into my S&M gear, my rubber mask and codpiece, and stand in the centre of the dungeon. Then my two mistresses will walk in. They'll be wearing tight leather bondage gear. And then the domination will begin. One of them, Miss Esmeralda, sits down to commentate, while the other, Mistress Xanthia, throws a football up, and then the two of us try to tap it to our advantage in a ruck duel. But again and again, Mistress Xanthia gets the tap down. The commentating mistress will sit to the side saying things like, "Oh, Miss Xanthia is dominating in the ruck. And the stats don't lie. At the centre clearances, Miss Xanthia's had 27 hitouts to just 3 from her opponent. Oh, and once again, Xanthia leaps over the top and taps it beautifully into the hands of the midfielders." It turns me on so much. There'll be a few more ruck duels, and then she'll say things like, "A change needs to be made. Maybe if he had a spell in the forward line, if he can just maybe take a mark and get a goal down there, it could get his confidence back." But no change is ever made. And as Mistress Xanthia dominates the ruck, I just get more and more excited. I'll normally have a 2-hour session in the dungeon, going up in the ruck again and again. Sometimes I'll be bustled out of the contest. Sometimes I'll manage to get my hand to it, but won't actually tap it to my advantage. Most of the time, Miss Xanthia uses her superior leap and sticks her knees into my back to get up high to tap the ball. And sometimes she'll use that athleticism of hers to actually do her own roving. I'm just completely dominated in the ruck. After my session, I'll go back to my wife and my kids in Moorabbin. My wife doesn't know about it. She wouldn't understand, but I know that it keeps me sane. My sessions in the S&M dungeon, being dominated in the ruck contest, it's really what keeps my family together. I couldn't live without it.